What's up, everybody? It's Adam from Team Sorcerer here, coming at you today with our third wave of spoilers. Hooray! Yeah. So today we got a crap ton of water spoilers. It's pretty much all water, actually. We get our Water J ruler. My first impressions of this spoiling is combos for days. This ruler is interesting. It's definitely interesting. Combo players will love it. I think it has potential to do a lot of different things. I'll get into it when I get done saying all the video or get done going over the ruler, and we can go from there. But all right, so our ruler, on her ruler side, she is Songstress of Shangri-La. Because I get English sometimes. Her judgment is 1 water and 2 void, so the same as Valentina 2.0, so not that bad. And then she has a ability that lasts permanently, I guess. On her ruler side, it says you may look at the top card of your main deck at any time. So, Magic players, you get to constantly scribe with this card, which makes it pretty good. You get to know what's coming next. You get to know what you're going to draw into. So it's pretty cool. She performed judgment and goes into Coupe d'Ate. I probably butchered that name. Mastermind Shion. She is a trader. TR8R. Okay. Anyways, for a 900, 1,000. So her attack is 900. Her defense is 1,000. Water J Roar. You may look at the top card of your main deck at any time, so she retains that ability over when she judgments. So pretty cool. Whenever she enters the field, you may reveal the top card of your main deck. If it's a resonator with the total cost 5 or less, put it into the field. Otherwise, put it into your hand. So, with you always knowing what's going to happen when you draw, you can essentially pay 3, and the best thing you can bring in is a 5-drop off the top. Or a 5-drop or less. If not, you draw a card, which is definitely not a bad thing. So you can... your ideal targets for it are probably an Arthur Pendragon. A Behemoth wouldn't be that bad of a hit. Mephistopheles, obviously, being the best drop for it. Trying to think of other game enders. Purple Mist wouldn't be that bad because you can just take the blue route with it. So there are definitely options for you to throw in here. Blazer, both Blazers actually, the Dragon and the Clown from MOA can both be brought in with this, so definitely not bad. Her God Art is God Art Serenade of Rebellion, 2 blue. This card gains +500/+500 until the end of turn. Then this card deals damage equal to its attack to target J4/Resonator your opponent controls. Play it only once per game. So, its God Art is a Sylvia shot, essentially, but a lot better because it says your opponent controls. So she'll gain 5/5/5. So she'll shoot something for 14. So most of the time she can hit... She can actually hit a lot of things if you think about it. She can hit the Primogenitor when he's under his moon if you're running in the deck. He can hit Bloody Snow White. He can hit... She can really hit anything, honestly, because not many things are more than 1,400. I think, if anything, if you're playing it, it won't hit and kill Alice, the Saint of Healing. For some reason, I can't remember her defense right now. But, yeah, I think this card's pretty good. It goes really well with its Regalia, which we'll get into later, but... it's definitely an interesting way to cheat things in, so I think this might see some play. Alrighty, we'll get into the next cards and we'll go from there. So, the best Resonator spoiled is a super rare, and this card's absolutely bonkers. Like, I can't even stress how amazing this card is. It is Muse Celestial Music. It's a 2-drop Water Void 4/6 myth. So we get more myths in Force of Will, similar to Susanoo, which is always cool. Susanoo is an extremely broken card, so this card's absolutely going to be bananas. When it enters the field, name a card type. Reveal the top card of your main deck. If it's the name type, put it into your hand. So with you always knowing what's going to happen, you pay 2 to essentially reveal the top card of your deck, and then you get to draw a card. So, spell chain instant, spell chant, addition field, regalia, resonator, the whole nine. Essentially, when she enters the field, you get to draw a card, and you get to replace her, which is not that bad for a hand advantage. Very powerful. Then it has this other amazing effect, and that's what makes this card so good. If a resonator you control will be dealt damage less than its defense, prevent it. So you attack it, you attack with it, with things, and they need to exact kill or more them. So like if you run this with a deck that runs Lancelot, they need to Flames of Outerworld it if they haven't pumped it by anything. Imply that they can pump its defense. This card can't be thundered. This card can't be bowed because it's just going to constantly be prevented. It's similar. It's like a blue Gareth, but debatably better because it gives all your resonators it. This card and Arthur Pendragon are bonkers. Just bonkers. Because you'll tap Arthur to put it to 2,000. Last time I checked, there's nothing that can really shoot something for 2,000, so you're kind of going to be good for a while. So this card's really good. I can see this card having so much potential. It's just not even funny. Next up, we have Drill Sergeant. Sergeant? Looks like a Drill Sergeant. I don't know. I'll just go with it. It's a 3-drop, 1 water, 2 void for a 7/7 human. So, not that bad. Whenever he attacks or blocks, reveal the top card of your main deck. If it's a Resonator, Resonators you control get +3/+3 until the end of turn. Otherwise, return this card to its owner's hand. So, whenever it attacks or blocks, you essentially get to reveal the top card of your deck, which you'll always know. And if it's a Resonator, you'll get a +300 boost to your board. If not, it gets returned to your hand. So it's really wonky and kind of bad. Like, I don't see it being that good unless you run Cheshire and always know what you're stacking, or if you run Shion. So, I don't know. It seems like a very interesting idea. Next card up is a spell chant, Shion's Hymn. It is a 3-drop, 2 water, 1 void. For a spell chant that does put target resonator to the top of its owner's main deck, reveal the top card of your main deck. If it's a water resonator that's total cost 2 or less, put it into your field. As long as your J ruler is Cooped, Iate, Mastermind, Shion, you may pay 2 water less to activate her God's Art ability this turn. So you pay 3, you get a free God Art if you're playing Shion, which is always good, always fantastic. You get to set your opponent essentially back a turn, depending on what it is, but depending on what they have on board. And then you get to reveal the top card of your deck, that bring in a 2-drop off the top. So automatic good cards are the Muse, obviously, Hanzo Hattori. Cheshires aren't that bad to bring off of the top because it's a water resonator, but you won't get the enter off of it. So it's a little weird on that. You can bring in an Alistair Soldier. You can bring in the Squire. That's whenever it enters the field, you draw a card. So there are potential good things that you can bring in with this, but it's a little wonky. I feel like most players will use it just to put something on the top of their owner's deck. Like, it's just never a bad thing to do. Just set your opponent back a turn. Next up is her Regalia, which I think probably makes Shion a little bit playable. Like, it's definitely a combo deck, but I'm going to get into the Regalia because this card, if it won't see play in Shion, it'll see play in almost every other deck, and you'll see why. It has tap with the top card of your main deck on the bottom of your main deck. So if you know what's on top, you can essentially send it to the bottom, which not that relevant, but it's not bad. Like, if you know what you're going to constantly keep getting, like when you play Shion, you'll just dig for whatever you need. You can pay 2, banish this card, search your main deck for a card, then shuffle your main deck, put that card on the top of your main deck. If your J ruler is Songstress of Shangri-La or Kuptia, Mastermind, Shion, you may play this ability for 1 void less. So if you're playing Shion, you can pay 1 void, tap, rest, banish this card, and you can just search your deck for a card, stack it. So combos pretty well with the God Art, or not the God Art, the Enter. So let's say I'm playing Arthur Pendragon and I need to stack it. So I'll pay 1, or this will be probably turn 4 depending if I have a mana dork. It'll be turn 4, pay 1, stack the Arthur Pendragon. Pay 3, perform Judgment, reveal Arthur off the top, bring Arthur in, and then I get to know what my next card is. So, definitely not bad. I think this card will see a lot of play in Valentina 2.0 decks, because you can just search out whatever regalia you want for 2, or just any card you need. Like if you need a Percival, or if you need another way to marry Belle, it's definitely not a bad option. So, I don't know. I think it's pretty good. Then it has one other effect that also makes it extremely good. You can discard another card name, heavily instrumental hydromonica, to draw a card. So it has the Glepnir effect where you can pitch one to draw another one. So it's not bad in that sense. It's just, I don't know. I think it's very J Ruler centric compared to other ones. We have the Himmel Memoriam, which is if your J/Resonator isn't Songstress or Shangri-La or the Mastermind, Shion, this card enters the battlefield tapped. So if you're automatically running this deck, you might as well run a playset of this. It taps to produce a water, which is always good. And it has whatever enters your Magic Stone area. Name a card. Reveal the top card of your main deck. If it's the name card, put it into your hand. So this card, it'll come in untapped if you play Shion, or if you're J-Ruler Shion. You get to essentially name a card and draw it. If you name it correctly, which 9 times out of 10 you're going to know what it is with Shion. So it's definitely a pretty good card. Like, I don't know. I think it's pretty good. And then you get to produce water, which is always relevant. And the last card we have is Musician. Can't talk. Musician of Shangri-La, which is a 1-drop 300 human. So already really good because it can fend off hunters, which is definitely not bad. But its effect is what makes it pretty decent. It's when this card attacks or blocks, you reveal the top card of your main deck. If it's a Resonator, this card gains plus 200, plus 200. Otherwise, return this card to your hand. So it has the same clause as the Jewel Sergeant, but this one's debatably better, I guess. Because if you know what you're going to draw with Shion, you can attack or block for essentially a 1-drop that's a 5. Then on your turn 2, you can... Alright, you would get the Resonator off the top. You know what's coming next. And then you can Voice of the False God, banish this, draw 3. So, I mean, the plays are there. Like, it definitely has potential. So, yeah, that's our water spoiler for today. Or, yeah, no, it would be today because it was spoiled last night. It's okay. It's extremely wonky. Extremely... combo oriented. I feel like your main plays for the deck are probably just going to be try and get things off the top. I feel like your best way of doing it will be Water Light. If you don't run it just straight Water Light, you can Water Light. What is it? Shion. I would definitely suggest trying to run Water Light Valentina 1.0. Because the Muse is extremely powerful in it. You stacking with Cheshire can make a lot of these cards really good. With Valentina, you can cheat the Muse in on your opponent's turn. So it's definitely not... these cards aren't bad. They have a lot of work to do, I guess. And they need to be used in the right deck in order for them to be fully used to their capability, but definitely not bad. So, alright guys, like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think down in the description below. In the description below, there will be the link to the spoiler so you can follow along in the video. Make sure you do that, because if not, it just sounds like I'm talking for like 14 minutes. Let's get a discussion down below, and let me know what you guys think about what just got spoiled, because these cards are pretty decent. Like, I won't lie. So they're definitely not bad. So, alrighty, guys, have a good day. This is Adam from Team Sorcery, signing out. Goodbye.